Hello again, everyone. Back with you. This is series now 145 as we continue to introduce teams that face off each other. Best of 7 series. Introduced to you by Out of the Park Baseball 20. We're taking teams randomly from the history of the game and facing them off against each other in the best of 7 and seeing what storylines develop and who the victors are. So, no different here. We got two good teams coming at you here from, about 90 years difference or more. So that should make it interesting. And let's introduce first the 1909 Boston Red Sox. Yes, the Red Sox were around even back then. 88 and 63, led by Fred Lake. They finished third in the American League, which was only 8 teams at the time. The big star here in his young prime, 21 years old, just coming into the league, is Tris Speaker. It's going to be a joy to watch him. I shouldn't say he's in his prime yet. He's just getting started. Only hit 309, but for Speaker, that's not the best average. He'll get much higher than that throughout his career, but still very, very good as a 21-year-old. 35 steals, 77 RBIs, 13 triples. Speaker will be fun to watch, and also a legend in center field. Looking at some of the other stars, you might notice here, Jake Stahl, 12 triples for him. He drove in 60, hit 294. Harry Lord, 315, 349 on base. 7 triples for him. He drove in only 31. Doc Gessler, 290, drove in 46. Heine Wagner, not to be confused with Hannes, 256. He was the shortstop. Bill Kerrigan, the catcher. And Harry Niles, also out there at 245, one of the lower averages, but a lot of speed. The era needs to be kept in mind here. It's 1909, not a lot of power, but the Red Sox did have some young talent and some players that could hit for average and get on base to generate some runs. So looking at the pitching as we move further down, a lot of innings generated here by Frank Arilanis. Not that much, actually. 230 for the day isn't that high of a number. He was 16 and 12, though, with a very impressive 2.18 ERA. Eddie Cicotte was another starter at 25 years old. His ERA very good at 1.94, 14 and 5 for him, although he only pitched in 162 innings. But still, Cicotte had a very good year. Smokey Joe Wood, 19 and 11, 2.18, only 19 years old. Also a good season for Joe Wood. Charlie Chech, Cy Morgan, maybe rounding off the rotation, and Elmer Steele, another name that we might see used in the series. But Cicotte and Joe Wood, two names you might know, and Arilanis, another pitcher that we should see a lot of. So some very good pitching of the time, a team pretty representative of the time. The Red Sox, a good team that won low-scoring, close games with good pitching and small ball that created runs. 88 and 63, they had a good run. A little bit after that, they would win the World Series. Just a few years after that, it was, of course, the Athletcs that were pretty much dominating the American League at this time, along with the Giants. So that's the 1909 Red Sox that we will feature. Their opponents all the way into 2006. It's going to be the Athletcs. The Athletcs, if I can spell it, actually had a postseason run here. Usually the Athletcs, led by the Billy Beane era, lose early in the playoffs, but this year they did make it actually to the ALCS. They lost to the Tigers. They won the AL West, winning 93 games. So a good A's team that came close to the World Series, didn't quite make it. Looking at the roster, you'll notice here that Jason Kendall, a good catcher, 295, dependable and a decent hitter, even stole 11 bases. You'll notice here Eric Chavez, the Wizard, at third base, did hit 22 homers, not a great average hitter. He did strike out 100 times, but his defense is more why he's a star. You'll notice also here Nick Swisher, 254. He did hit 35 homers, drove in 95. Milton Bradley at 28 years old, 276 with 14 home runs for him. And 38-year-old designated hitter Frank Thomas, still getting it done at 38 years old, 39 home runs, 114 RBIs, 270, and a great 381. The Hall of Famer, always strong, even in his late 30s. Mark Kotsay, Mark Ellis, some other stars in that or some other good players in that lineup. Jay Payton, one of the hitters off the bench. So a good defensive team, obviously. A pretty good lineup, some speed for the era, but also some pop there. You have Chavez, Swisher, and Thomas, of course, providing the pop. The rotation, a good one, led by Dan Herring, 14 and 13, 4.12 ERA for him in 223 innings. And Barry Zito, the left-hander, very, very deceiving, very good. He went 16 and 10 with a 383. You have Joe Blanton, Esteban Loaiza, also part of this team. You can see there, Herring struck out 176, Zito 151, and Houston Street, the closer, saving 37 games, 3.31 ERA for him. He also struck out 67 in only 70 innings of work. So the Athletcs winning the West with a good team led by Ken Maka, ready to face off against the 09 Red Sox, who also are a winning team and a good team, which makes an ingredient for, I think, interesting and exciting series. Always very cool to get a team from the dead ball era to play a more modern side. Although the Athletcs could also run and play a little bit of small ball, I think, themselves, even though of course, the cybermetrics era kind of goes away from moving runners along and doing it the old-fashioned way. But we'll see how things play off as far as strategy goes. Best of 7 series, you can see here the openers will be in Oakland, who had slightly the better record. They will be the slight favorites before we head to Boston. Even before Fenway Park, we'll head out to Huntington Ground for the middle part of the series and see where things go if we even need to come back for games 6 and 7. The series is ready to roll. Our starters for game 1 is 19-year-old Smokey Joe Wood, going to go up against Dan Herring to start it off in Oakland at the Coliseum between two teams facing off against each other, two winning teams, which should make for an interesting series. Glad you're with us, ready to get things started. Let's head out live to Oakland for game 1 of this best of 7 series. Again, it's the 1909 Red Sox, ready to battle the 2006 Athletcs. So glad you can join us here for game 1. We're ready to roll. Harry Lord is up here to start this series against Dan Herring. Full house in Oakland. Sun is shining. It's 55 degrees. The wind is blowing out to center. And here's a liner down the left field line. That's going to be fair for Lord. He's going to get it all the way in the second. So a leadoff double here to start off the action here in game 1. Boston trying to get on the board. We got a runner on third. Jake Stahl at the plate. 2 outs. Here's a ground ball through the hole. Stahl's going to drive in the first run of the series. 1-0 Boston here in the very first inning. Game moves to the bottom of the second. Oakland picking themselves here up here now as Marco Scutero has men on the corners with 1 out. Scutero back to the mound, but that's going to be good enough for an infield hit. The runner holds at third, but safe at first is Scutero, and we got the bases loaded. Wood had some trouble there making a decision on what he wanted to do, and now he's in a big jam with 1 out. And Johnson, the hitter. Johnson, however, strikes out. Wood gets him. The 19-year-old showing poise here. So we have 2 down for Mark Ellis. Second inning. This ball's drilled into the hole, but a nice play by the shortstop to get the force. Great play there by Wagner. And the Athletcs come up empty here in the second inning. We're still 1-0. It's 2-0 now as we move to the fourth. Harry Lord back up there. Lord grounds this one to second. No play to be made there. It's another infield hit. Ellis fields it, but can't get the ball out of his glove, so the base is loaded here. The opportunity to break it open. Beals Becker facing Heron with 2 outs and the bases loaded. And this ball is hit up middle, but a nice play there by Ellis. He'll make it, and that will end the frame, so the 2-0 score will hold up here as we move to the 5th inning. Johnson facing Wood. And this ball is hit into the hole for a base hit past the first baseman with nobody out. So a leadoff hit here for the Athletics. Mark Ellis now the hitter. Ellis hits it to third. Nice scoop there. Out at second. Relay to first. Double play. Good turn here by the visitors. And we are now all the way to the 8th inning. Justin Duscherer in the face Bill Kerrigan. And this ball's hit past the third baseman. A 2-out hit here for Kerrigan. Still 2-0. We'll move bottom of the 8th now. Chick Evans has come in, facing Eric Chavez. The Athletics trying to get something going, and there's a good, solid single to center field with a 1 out. So the tying run will come to the plate. 2-0 our score. Milton Bradley, the hitter, facing now Larry Pape. This ball's hit in the center field. A high towering pop, but that'll be caught. Speakers there. So 2 outs for Nick Swisher. Swisher representing the tying run. And Swisher will line a single to center field, so that'll get down there. So with 2 outs, 2 on for the home team as they look for a rally. Mark Kotsay's the hitter with 2 down. Kotsay hits it to second. Another play for Ellis. He'll make it. The shutout continues here. It is 2-0. We move bottom of the 9th. Larry Pape still on in relief. Catcher Jason Kendall up here. Kendall hits it to second. Play is going to be made there. McConnell makes a smooth play. 2 outs here. And Johnson, the last hope, as Larry Pape is looking to close the door. This is hit to center field. A base hit with 2 outs. Frank Thomas up now representing the tying run. Hands on their feet. Thomas hits a fly ball to center field, but should be caught. Speaker coming over. He's got it. That'll do it. The Red Sox take game 1 and shut out Oakland 2-0. A very efficient performance. Smokey Joe Wood leading the way in the victory to open the series for Boston. Wood going into the 7th inning. He struck out 4, walked nobody. Dan Heron gets hooked with the loss. He went 6 innings, only allowed 2 earned runs. Harry Lord started off the first inning with an RBI, went 3 for 4 for the day. 2 doubles for him, 2 runs scored. He scored both of them. And Boston, in a pitcher's duel, is able to start this series off on fire in an impressive fashion, at least pitching-wise. Their pen comes through as well. Larry Pape gets the save. And Boston off to the best start possible, winning the opener in Oakland. So moving on to game 2, it's now Joe Blanton who's going to take the mound for the Athletics and Elmer Steele for Boston, as Oakland really needs to turn it around, try to get their bats going in game 2 after the shutout loss in game 1. Let's continue the series and see where things go. Will Oakland be able to pick themselves up and tie it up? Are we going to Boston down by 2 games? Let's go live now to the Coliseum for game 2. So again, we're in the top of the first inning. After an error, we got a runner on first, and Beals Becker's at the plate. Becker goes high and deep to right field. Looking up, you can forget about it. Way out there, Becker with a towering home run. What a bomb that was, 430 feet. It's 2-0 now, Boston. They get off to a good start once again. Joe Blanton left that one in the zone, and Becker drilled it. Here's Jake Stahl. We're in the 3rd inning. Stahl goes deep to right. That ball's looking up. This ball is gone. Small ball, nothing. The Red Sox coming out swinging the big bats. A home run here for Stahl. 3-0 Boston. Make it 4-0. We move bottom of the 3rd. Nick Swisher up there with 2 outs and a full count. He takes ball 4, so Oakland will load the bases here. They're down by 4. 2 outs, a big spot here for Mark Kotsay. He drills a liner right at the second baseman. A great play there. McConnell makes the play, leaves his feet, and we remain now 4-0. Oakland has yet to score in this series, and we're now in the fifth. Tris Speaker up there with 2 outs, and the base is full. Speaker drills it to right field. That's going to get 1 and maybe 2. Runner's going to score. Speaker with the 2-run single. It is 6-0. Boston in complete control. We move to the 9th inning. Unbelievably, Oakland has yet to scratch. Bobby Crosby up there with 2 outs and a man on second. Charlie Hall delivers. This ball's hit to right field. Should be playable. It is another shutout. Another win for the Red Sox. Unbelievably, they've shut out Oakland in 2 straight games, winning this one 6-0. What an impressive performance, as impressive as we've seen any pitching staff. This time it's Elmer Steele who went into the 7th inning, struck out 1, walked 1, no earned runs. Beals Becker with that bomb of a home run. He was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, and Tris Speaker 3 for 5, a double and 2 RBIs. The defense for Boston has been brilliant. Even more brilliant has been the pitching. They win this one 6-0, outscoring the Athletcs 8-0 in the first 2 games and allowing 0 runs in the process. What a start for the Red Sox. The stunned Athletcs now will head east to Huntington Park for game number 3, where Barry Zito, it doesn't get any easier for the Red Sox. Or I should say Barry Zito will be the one who's trying to uphold. What am I trying to say here? Barry Zito is going to be the one who is starting for Oakland in hopes of stemming the tide of this series. And Biff Switzer will be the one for Boston who's going to try to continue the dominance by Boston at home now. He's the one that's going to try to pick up the torch and continue the scoreless inning string that the Red Sox have shown in the first 2 games. So the series now gets even more interesting. Game number 3. Can we see a new Oakland team appear here on the road, get something done offensively, or will the dominance of the Red Sox continue? Game number 3 coming up from Boston. Here we are, the old ballpark in Boston. Game number 3. Looking for the best view we can get here. We got Eric Chavez up there in the first inning with a man on. Chavez hits this one into the hole. That's a base hit. Runner heading to third with nobody out. We got runners on the corners. And Nick Swisher is the hitter. Swisher hits this one to second. Play will be made at second. Relay to first. A double play there by the home team. And Oakland comes up empty in the first inning after threatening. We move to the second. Runner on third now for Mark Ellis. Ellis will hit it into the hole. Past the shortstop. 1-0 Athletcs. A base hit here as Kendall scores. Ellis with the RBI single. And now Bobby Crosby with a chance. 2 outs. Runners on second and third. There's ball 4. So Crosby now on first, 2 outs. The base is loaded here in the second inning. And Eric Chavez at the plate. Chavez goes deep to right field, way back, looking up. This ball is at the wall. A grand slam by Eric Chavez, giving life to the Athletcs here. 5-0 is our score. Oakland coming across here in a big way. Their first run to the series and then some in that second inning. And they're still at it as Nick Swisher's at the plate. Swisher goes deep. There's a drive to right. This one to the wall. And the A's have woken up in a huge way. 7 runs here in the second inning. It is 7-0, make it 8-0 as we move to the 5th. Barry Zito still pitching and still going well here. This one's hit in front of the mound. Tough play to be made. No play to be made. An error by Kendall as he should have had that one. So runners on first and second. Ed Carger, the hitter. Nobody out. Carger puts down a bunt. play to be made there. First, runners advance. Second and third. For Jake Stahl, we've moved to the 6th. Stahl with a base hit. So nobody out. Boston has runners first and second. Zito's still in the game. Kerrigan's the hitter. This ball is hit to third. Play made there around the horn. No double play. But the first out of the inning is recorded. We move to the 8th inning now. Bases loaded for Oakland. Milton Bradley. It's an 8-1 game. At the plate, and Bradley goes deep to right. That ball at the wall. Is it another grand slam? It is. Milton Bradley hits one with the bases loaded, and another, the second grand slam of the game for Oakland. It is 12-1 now in this ball game. Bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, 2 outs. Rich Harden's in the game, facing the last hope here, Dave Sheem, and there's a strikeout with the bases loaded. Oakland ends this blowout. They respond in outstanding fashion on the road, making no doubt that they're back in this series. Milton Bradley with the grand slam, 2 for 4. Eric Chavez with the grand slam, 2 for 4. 2 slams in the same game. And Barry Zito put the team on his back, struck out 6, walked 1, and made sure his team came out on top. Oakland gets back into the series with a roar. Schultzer, the loser, he had a very rough game. That 7-run second inning was the backbreaker, to say the least. The road games have won every single game in this series. And there you have it now. We move to game number 4 with Esteban Loaiza for Oakland facing Charlie Smith. Game number 4. Let's see if Oakland can tie it up, or will Boston rebound here and take a 3-1 commanding series lead. Game 4 from Boston coming up. Game 4, here we go. Bradley up there, runner on second. And Bradley comes through again here. A fair ball. That's going to be within the lines, down into the right field corner. Run's going to score. Oakland gets off the floor here early in game number 4, just like they did in game 3. 1-0 our score. Bottom of the 2nd, Loaiza in there, nobody out. Kerrigan's the hitter with the man on. Kerrigan will lift this one over the shortstop's head, a base hit. Runner moving to third. He's going to beat the throw. Great base running as always by the Red Sox. Runners on the corners. Loaiza delivers. This one's in front of the mound. No play to be made, however. That's going to be an infield hit. McConnell gets on there, so the bases are loaded for Harry Niles with nobody out. Niles will lift this one high and easily in the left. Play will be made. Nobody can advance. Here's the pitch. Now there's a ball for call, and that's going to be a run here for Boston. They tie the game. Loaiza can't get the ball over the plate. We are tied at 1, and Charlie Smith has a chance now with a 1 out.
Strike 3.
But he looks at strike 3, hoping to induce a walk on a 2-2 pitch. He looks at it, and he is out. So Harry Lord now the pitcher, or the hitter I should say.
Strike 3.
He strikes out. So Loaiza gets out of that jam, only allowing the 1 run. We remain tied as we move on in this game to the 3rd. Nick Swisher up there with the man on second. Swisher goes into right field. That'll get down. Milton Bradley's going to come in to score. 2-1 Oakland on the base hit by Nick Swisher. So Oakland pushes on in front again. Mark Ellis tries to add to the lead. He goes to second. Play made at first. Relay in time. Double play. So a 2-1 score. 4th inning for Chavez, who's at the plate with 1 out and 2 on. Chavez hits a towering fly deep to center field, all the way at the wall. He did it again. Chavez, a long home run with 2 on. That's a 3-run home run for the third baseman. It is now 5-1 Oakland. Boy, have they woken up here in this portion of the series. Boston playing like a home park for them. We're in the 4th now. Niles up there in a 5-1 game, a runner on second. Niles hits a long one to left. This one's to the wall. This one is going to be out of here. Long gone. Niles a 2-run homer. It is 5-3 as Boston tries to pick themselves up. We're in the 5th inning, a 2-run game for Tris Speaker. Speaker lines a single to center field. That's down. Runner around in third. He's going to hold. So runners on the corners. One out for Jake Stahl. Eliza delivers. This ball's towered in the right. Should be playable. Will it be deep enough? Runner tags. Here's the throw. Not in time, and it is 5-4 as Boston's well in this game. We move now to the sixth. Bobby Crosby, the man at the dish. He hits it up the middle. Base hit with the man on. So runners first and second. One out. Oakland has the lead. And Eric Chavez up there again, who's just been a monster in this series. But he strikes out here, a big strikeout. He chased the bad one. And Milton Bradley with the chance here as Forrest Moore is the pitcher. And there's a single for Bradley, who's had a big series. Run around in third. He's going to come in and beat the throw. Scooter Rose in there, and it's 6-4 now, Oakland. To the bottom of the sixth. McConnell's the hitter. This one's dribbled. It's going to be a tough play, even for Chavez, who can't make it. And we got a man on now with nobody out. This one's hit to center field. Coming over is the right fielder. He'll have it. So one out. 6-4 our score. Harry Walter at the plate. This one's dribbled up the middle. That'll get through. A base hit here with a one out. Runner moving the third. So the tying runs are on the base paths. 6-5 our score with Walter on second. Dave Sheen the hitter. One out. Sheen will lift this one in the left. That's going to drop for a hit. Ball bobbled a little bit. Runner's going to hold, however. One out. 6-5 our score. And Harry Lord has a chance here. Brad Halsley, the pitcher, and this one's hit. On the infield, another tough play, another infield hit. So bases loaded for Heine Wagner. One out, one-run game. Strikeout, however, a big strikeout there. On an 0-2 pitch, Halsley pitching well, but it's Tris Speaker now with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Not the man that Oakland wants to see up there. Speaker hits a long shot to center field, way back over the head of the center fielder. You can forget it. A grand slam, Tris Speaker, just as they thought they might get out of the inning. Speaker says and does otherwise with a grand slam, another slam in this series, and Boston flips this ball game. It is now 9-6. What a game this has turned out to be. We move to the bottom of the seventh. Niles up there with 2 outs. Sarlus is the pitcher, and here's another shot to center field. Way back there, the outfielders barely move. Niles with a solo home run, long gone. 10-6 our score. We move to the ninth. Nick Swisher at the plate. Ferguson on to mop things up. Strike 3, and Boston comes from behind to win game number 4. Crucially doing it on the back of the Tris Speaker grand slam. A huge win in this series for them. The first home team to win, and they take a 3-1 game lead in the series. Speaker 3 for 5 with that slam. Niles also hit 2 home runs in this one. Chavez went deep for the Athletcs. He was 2 for 5. He hit a 3-run shot, actually, as it was in the fourth. But that 5-run 6th inning, and more importantly, the grand slam by Hall of Famer Tris Speaker, the difference in game number 4. And Oakland now finds themselves up against the wall as Boston has a chance to end this series. Game number 5 is going to be Dan Herron, the last hope for the Athletcs, up against Smokey Joe Wood. It's a replay of game number 1. And Boston has a chance to surprisingly ease through this series and end it on their home field. Let's see if they can get it done. Game number 5 and all that comes with it. Up ahead, out to Boston for the crucial game. Can Oakland survive, or will Boston end this series in 5? Game 5 now, scoreless game, bottom of the third. Dan Herring facing Speaker with a man. Speaker hooks this one just fair now. The right score here in the third inning. Speaker coming alive late in the series. Jake Stahl, the hitter. 2 outs. And there's a long fly to right. You can forget about this one. Another home run for Boston. Small ball, nothing. They've really swung the bats here with the long ball in this series. 3-0 our score. We move to the 7th inning. It's 4-0 with runners on the corners. Forrest Moore pitching to Dan Johnson. Nobody out. This ball's hit to second. Hart shot, but a double play will be turned even as a run scores. Boston will gladly give up the double play or the run for the double play. And to the 9th inning, 4-1 our score. Larry Pape in to close out the game in the series. Facing Jason Kendall. Kendall will line a single to center, only the 4th hit of the evening for Oakland. 2 on. Dan Johnson representing the tying run with nobody out. And that ball is hit to the first baseman. A play will be made. Unassisted. Runners second and third. Frank Thomas against Pape. 1 out. Thomas is late. He strikes out. That's out number 2. So the final may possibly be over. Bobby Kelty's the hitter with 2 on. He represents the tying run. He hits it to second. Should be easy. Play is made. Boston wins it. They clinch the series. Win it in 5 games here. 4-1 the final at home. They celebrate with their home fans, taking 2 out of 3 after an impressive display in Oakland to open the series. This series is history indeed. Smokey Joe Wood pitches well again into the 6th inning with 7 strikeouts. Again, no earned runs against him. He pitched almost 15 innings here without allowing a run in this series. What a performance by Joe Wood and Boston in general. Jake Stahl 1 for 3. He had 3 RBIs, and Tris Speaker on fire, 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and an RBI. 4 runs allowed only from Boston, and the Athletics are history as Herron takes the loss. Pape his 2nd save of the series. In 5 games, it is Boston who wins it in convincing fashion. We look here at some of the numbers. Tris Speaker, 455, 8 RBIs in the series, including a home run, a big grand slam, of course, in game number 4. Harry Niles, 316. He had 2 homers and 4 RBIs. Jake Stahl, 316, 6 RBIs. And even Harry Lower at 455. He was also 10 for 22. Looking at some of the pitching, you can see here Smokey Joe Wood, 2-0, 12 scoreless innings, 11 strikeouts, 2 wins, only 7 hits allowed. Wood was just outstanding in this series. The bullpen also very good. Pape, Evans, Airline, Steele in his start pitched a shutout in game number 2. And from there you can see the pitching was well in hand for Boston. Even if you look at game 3, their only loss, they allowed the 12 runs and inflated some ERAs. But other than that, folks, they only allowed 2 runs in the 4 games that they won. Just some of the best pitching we've seen yet in any series. Hats off to the Red Sox pitching staff. For the Athletics, you can see here Milton Bradley, 450 with 6 RBIs for the series. Chavez drove in 7. He hit 368. Those really were the 2 outstanding stars. Swisher with 3 RBIs hit 250. And really the only damage the A's did was in game number 3. The pitching staff, not terrible for the Athletics, but not good enough. Zito pitched great in the only win. But Herron was at 450 as ERA in his 2 starts, his 2 losses. Joe Blanton also had a loss. Bob Hazley really struggled in his only outing. And you can see there, Rich Harden did well out of the pen, as did Flores and Sarlus and some of the other names you see there. This series is history. The MVP, I would say, would be Smokey Joe Wood. Even though Tris Speaker had a great series, I would go with Wood. In his 2 starts, his 12 innings, no earned runs, struck out 11, .92 whip, and only walked 4 men, winning 2 games and definitely setting the tone in the series with the Game 1 win and closing out the series in Game 5. The bats were also there for Boston. Impressive win indeed from a team from the dead ball era to defeat a more modern team, a team of the 21st century. So Boston proves that the dead ball era has a sure bunch to still offer in some of these series that we've seen. So series 145 is done. It was a good one. Some of the games were great, and the performance by Boston definitely should be noted. Their pitching outstanding, especially in the first 2 games and going forward. So that is it. We are done. Hope you enjoyed series number 145. Again, a recap for you. The 1909 Boston Red Sox defeat the 2006 Oakland Athletics in 5 games. And they'll move on while the Athletcs wonder what might have been. We are done. This is Out of the Park Baseball 20. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad you were with us. We'll talk to you shortly as we continue with our historical matchups from the history of this game.